Welcome back to our channel, where we explore some of the most fascinating and mysterious stories in history. Today, we're delving into a dark and enigmatic chapter of New Orleans' past, the bizarre case of the Axeman. A serial killer who terrorized the city, with a sinister twist, he seemed to have a particular focus on Italian immigrants. The story of the Axeman is chilling, perplexing, and downright bizarre. So, grab your detective hats and join us on this journey as we unveil the secrets of this sinister figure. It was the night of March 19, 1919, and jazz played in New Orleans. Music poured out of private residences, where wealthy white New Orleans hired bands to play music popularized in a mixed-race red light district. Nightclubs and bars were packed to the point of overflow. In a city known for its lively atmosphere, this may have been one of the most gig-heavy nights in history. Yet the musicians weren't playing for love or money. These concerts were born of fear, ordered by an axe-wielding maniac who claimed to come straight from hell. For almost a year, the city of New Orleans had been the subject of multiple attacks by a serial killer, an axe murderer who to this day has never been identified. The mysterious figure is known to history as the Axeman of New Orleans. And while it's impossible to verify whether he's responsible for all of the murders ascribed to him, it is a fact that from May of 1918 until October of 1919, 12 people were attacked across greater New Orleans, 7 of whom died from their brutal wounds. In almost every case, a small hole was carved out of a door. The Axeman would crawl through this opening, so small that several suspects were dismissed on account of their size, and then bludgeon his victims with an axe. Curiously, the weapon employed was often in the house and left at the scene of the crime along with the chisel used for breaking through the door. The victims of the Axeman had qualities in common. They were mainly women. Men only suffered blows if they got in the Axeman's way and never seemed to be the primary target. Many of the victims were Italian immigrants, who at the time represented the Big Easy's white underclass. Italians in New Orleans were familiar with violence, with the largest mass lynching in civic history being 11 Italian Americans outside parish prison in 1891. Many assumed Italian neighborhoods were run by mafia-esque organizations, fueled by prejudice and sensationalism. Into this volatile mix stepped the Axeman. His first officially recognized murder was on May 22, 1918. On that late spring day, he used his chisel to remove part of a door and slip into the home of Joseph and Catherine Maggio. When Joseph's brothers Jake and Andrew, who also lived in the home, went to check on the couple, they found Catherine's corpse draped over Joseph, whose head and face were gashed. Joseph reacted to the appearance of his brothers but died from his wounds shortly thereafter. Catherine's head, meanwhile, had almost detached from her body. Her killer had used Andrew's straight razor to slit her throat so deeply that she had been practically decapitated. Andrew Maggio was arrested for the attack but released after an investigation turned up no further evidence linking him to the crime. What police did find, about a block from the Maggio house, was a message scrawled in chalk, seemingly by a child, which read, "Mrs. Maggio will sit up tonight just like Mrs. Tony." Over the long hot summer that followed, 2 more attacks yielded 4 more victims, 2 of whom died from their wounds. One victim who survived, a Polish immigrant named Louis Bisumer, was, like the Maggios, a grocer. This led to speculation that the attacker was a gangster bent on extortion. But if he was affiliated with organized crime, he seemed strangely nonchalant about money. The Axeman's victims rarely had their values taken. A strange lull then settled over New Orleans as the summer dragged on. From August 10, 1918, until late winter of 1919, no attacks were reported. However, on March 10, 1919, the Cordemelia family, including Charles, Rosie, and 2-year-old Mary, were attacked in their home in Gretna. Rosie, found cradling her dead daughter, was the only survivor. Fear tightened its grip on New Orleans once again. 3 days after the Cordemelia attack, an ominous letter arrived in local newspapers. The author demanded its publication. The address line, in an eerie echo of Jack the Ripper's correspondence, was from hell. Hell, March 13, 1919, esteemed mortal, the Axeman wrote. They have never caught me and they never will. They have never seen me, for I am invisible, even as the ether that surrounds your earth. I am not a human being, but a spirit and a demon from the hottest hell. I am what you Orleanians and your foolish police call the Axeman. He continued to talk about his satanic abilities throughout the letter, and towards the end, issued a funky threat. If a house plays jazz on March 18, 1919, those people will be spared from his axe. Anyone who doesn't jazz it at 12:15 a.m. earthly time would be under threat of his demonic brutality. It's impossible to know whether the Axeman truly wrote this letter. Nevertheless, New Orleanians took the demand to heart. On March 19th, the city resounded with jazz. No attack came that evening. But the bloodletting wasn't over quite yet. 3 more victims, including 1 fatality, followed in August, September, and October of 1919. After October, the Axeman murders ceased, though there's speculation that the killer may have struck earlier in the decade, around 1911 or 1912. The Axeman murders remain a mystery. The grisly details of the case echo through the years, like the swinging jazz that played on the terrifying night in New Orleans. Thank you for watching this chilling journey through the dark and mysterious story of the Axeman of New Orleans, a serial killer who targeted Italian immigrants. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more intriguing historical mysteries. Remember, it's the mystique and intrigue of these stories that keep the past alive and inspire us to seek the truth. So, until we uncover the next mystery, keep your curiosity alive, stay vigilant, and continue to unravel the secrets that shape our world.